AB 1382, Assemblymember Castillo, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and committee members. I am here to present AB 1382, which would prohibit the sale of genetically modified animals where the genetic modification is for cosmetic purposes. While investments have been made to further genetic research for potentially beneficial medical advancements, some companies have begun to develop the development of genetically modified cats, dogs, and other pets with altered appearances to fulfill consumer demand for designer traits, despite unknown long-term health risks. These genetic modifications run the risk of prioritizing aesthetics over the well-being of the animal, as well as drive consumer demand for novelty pets when there already exists a pet overpopulation crisis. As reflected in the bill's recent amendments, I want to clarify that this measure will not inhibit genetic medical research aimed at benefiting society. The language is explicitly curated to target animals genetically modified for the sole purpose of sale. Furthermore, in an effort to address the concerns expressed by last-minute opposition to the bill, we have submitted language to Legislative Council to exempt the sale of current species of glowfish from this ban. These amendments would be added at the next available opportunity. With me today to provide testimony is Nick Sackett, Director of Legislative Affairs for Social Compassion and Legislation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblywoman. Yep. Okay. Good afternoon, Chair, members. Apologies for those who heard me the other day in BNP. This will sound familiar. AB 1382 addresses two issues: preventing the exacerbation of the pet overpopulation problem and the questionable ethics of modifying animals' genes for the sake of novelty. California animal shelters euthanize approximately 250,000 animals every year. There are not enough homes for all the animals being bred. The public pays for that to the tune of about $400 million per year to operate animal shelters, and that doesn't include the millions that nonprofit rescues spend to save animals every year. The last thing we need is for a novel pet, such as a glow-in-the-dark rabbit, to become the latest fad on TikTok, leading to these animals being bred at a pace that puts profit above their well-being. And later, dumped on the side of the road after the photos have been taken and posted on social media. Thousands of impulse buys later, and after the novelty wears off, the public will be left to foot the bill and the animal to suffer. The California Fish and Game regulations only regulate aquatic transgenic animals, with the regulations silent on mammals and birds. From 2003 to 2016, the Fish and Game Commission banned the sale of glowfish. At the time of the initial vote, one commissioner was quoted in the LA Times saying, "For me, it becomes a question of values. Under what circumstances do we want to monkey around with the genome of an organism? To do it for a pet seems rather frivolous." This bill will ensure that California does not encourage this burgeoning and indeed frivolous industry. It will reduce the burden to regulating this industry for both the Fish and Game Commission and the Department of Fish and Wildlife, and it will save untold dollars that our state will incur if we add to our overflowing shelters, or by disrupting our natural ecosystems with abandoned genetically modified animals. And with that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here in support of AB 1382?
Thank you. Hello, my name is Clifton Wilson on behalf of the California Animal Welfare Association, which is the statewide association that represents California's public and private nonprofit shelters in support of AB 1382. First off, thank you to the author and the sponsors for running this bill. We believe it will help prevent a future surge of genetically altered designer animals, which will have complex health problems from being sold into California's pet market and later, heartbreakingly, as we heard, surrendered to already overcrowded and under-resourced shelters due to things like cost of care, etc. By restricting commercial sales of pets modified for cosmetic traits, except for when changes clearly benefit animal health, it prioritizes animal welfare and reduces the risk of unhealthy, high-maintenance animals ending up abandoned or in need of costly care in shelters. Supporting this bill aligns with efforts to protect vulnerable animals and ease the burden on shelters struggling with high intake and limited resources. So for that, thank you, and we urge an aye vote on this bill.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and members. Karen Stout here on behalf of the Animal Legal Defense Fund. Thank you for taking on this bill, and we're in support.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Lizzie Guansona here on behalf of Humane World for Animals in Support. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone here in opposition to AB 1382?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm Alyssa Miller-Hurley. I'm here on behalf of the Pet Advocacy Network. The Pet Advocacy Network is the trade association that represents the responsible pet care industry, and we have members across California. We're here in opposition to the bill as is currently written, and we've been encouraged by conversations about amending it to exempt glowfish. Our concerns right here are the fact that it would ban the sale of glowfish, which are, just for example, things such as zebrafish or tetras, which express fluorescent proteins, resulting in those beautiful, bright, vibrant colors that we see so often in fish tanks around private homes and in aquariums. These animals are already subject to extensive state and federal regulatory restrictions. In California, each new species has to be reviewed by California Fish and Wildlife, and the organization that creates them must submit extensive scientific research and make sure that there's proof ensuring no environmental harm and no animal harm. So our opposition here is the fact that this would replace something that is already scientifically regulated, something that already has a very scientific process, with a bill that is reducing all of that over emotion and aesthetics. We believe that there is some legitimate concern here, and we would be open to making sure that we can protect animals in the appropriate manner, while also making sure we're not restricting consumer choice and inadvertently outlawing something based on emotion and aesthetics, and outlawing something that's already subject to extensive scientific and state regulatory review. We're, again, encouraged by the conversations, but at this moment remain opposed in the manner it's written.
And just the amendments that have been put in print by the author, would those satisfy your concerns?
The amendments that we have reviewed thus far are a good stepping stone, but would not satisfy those concerns.
Okay. Is there anyone else here in opposition to AB 1382? All right, I'll bring it back to committee. Yes. We have a motion and a second. Assemblymember O'Brien.
Do they not satisfy our concerns because they exempt what's already on the market and we have some genetically altered, modified animals coming down the line?
Yeah, so the manner it's currently written would exempt everything, as you said, that's already on the market, but it would not exempt any future products, which essentially creates a grandfather clause, but something like that can grandfather someone out of business. Instead, what we would propose is changing some of the language in existing exemption form that already is there, and making it so that the just aquatic species are protected and exempt, nothing having to do with the intent of this legislation.
I don't want to show too much of my animal activist hat, but I think even just referring to future products might be some of the reason folks are moving a bill like this. Assemblymember, I'd like to make a motion, and if you're looking for co-authors, I'd be happy to join you.
Thank you.
Assemblymember Zabur.
I had the same questions as
No.
Assemblymember Brown.
Yeah, and any other questions or comments? Yeah, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate Assemblywoman bringing this important measure. As a pet lover, I want to protect the integrity, the genetic integrity. I had no idea that we needed to take state action to do that. I think this is an extremely important step to disincentivize the unethical breeding of pets and animals. And I'm proud to support it, and I'd love to be a co-author. But I understand your opposition clearly, it's really directed to fish.
Yes, ma'am.
And glowfish specifically?
Yes, glowfish have been on the market here and have been sold legally in California and have been, again, extensively regulated within the state of California for the last decade.
So I would just encourage you and the author to continue. I mean, the focus is on glowfish. I had no idea. That's why they're so beautiful, I guess, in aquariums. I had no idea, but if it's already permitted under state law and you just want to refine it, I just would encourage you to figure out a way, since she's already accepted the glowfish exemption. So, but anyway, I support you for doing it. I'd love to be a co-author, and thank you for bringing it forward.
I want to commend the author for taking a meaningful amendment. It sounds like there's definitely opportunities to have further conversations, but I think the amendment that has already been put in print shows an effort to try to resolve some of the issues from the outstanding opposition. I would think that just making a blanket exemption for all aquatic life was probably a little too broad. But I would just suggest further working on it, and this does enjoy a do pass recommendation. Any closing comments?
So this bill received no vote in the previous committee, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you.
Motion is due pass. Calra.
Aye.
Calra, aye. Dixon. Aye. Dixon, aye. Barricayhan. Brian. Brian, aye. Connolly. Aye. Connolly, aye. Harabedian. Harabedian, aye. Macedo. Aye. Macedo, aye. Pacheco. Aye. Pacheco, aye. Pappen. Aye. Pappen, aye. Johnson. Aye. Johnson, aye. Stephanie. Aye. Stephanie, aye. Zabur. Aye. Zabur, aye.
All right, the bill is out.